Hi, my name's Jenny, and I want to talk with you today about how your body talks. And it's going to have a little focus on diabetes. And, the struggles with the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and how to find balance. Now, this is for everyone, because guess what? Our body, no matter what, wants to be in balance, and it's always trying to do that. So let's take a look at how we have signs and symptoms, right? We feel bloated and cramps and aches and pains and bumps and bruises and highs and lows and headaches, and your body is always talking to you. And if we were a car, if that happens to your car, you're immediately bringing it in to get it looked at. Don't let that go any further, right? I hear, oh, there's knocking. Get it to the mechanic immediately. I need this to run. But how come with our own body, isn't it interesting that we tend to not take it as seriously, push a little bit harder, I'll be okay. And you're not going to take your amazing sports car and off-road it or drive it in the winter. Got to take care of that baby. But we'll do a bender in this vessel and just accept the consequences, right? Call it worth it. It was a good time, good times, right? But we wouldn't put Windex in our gas tank, and yet no consideration at all for what we're putting into our bodies, right? This is a fuel that we have to start looking at our food as fuel. That's the key. And this really changed for me when I decided to ask myself, where do I want to be in 5-10 years from now? And I pictured myself, I want to still be dancing on tables at 80, maybe I might have, little, but I want to stay active. I still want to stay young at heart and able to keep up with that youth, that inner child within me. But that means I got to take care of the vehicle, right? We've got one. This isn't a lease. You're not turning this in for a new one. Well, isn't that something? So I really changed everything when I got to, the doctors were saying that I was going to have diverticulitis. I was going to have Crohn's. There was something going on in my stomach, and I really was having issues. And I thought, okay, go to the doctor. And the doctor said, okay, well, it's going to be some of these things. And that's okay, because we'll just put you on these steroids that will really help. And I thought, no, thank you. Don't really want to do that. So let's look at, my body can heal itself. I get a cut, it heals itself. If I break a bone, it heals itself. I get sick, it heals itself. So probably there's something going on in my body that I need to figure out what it needs and wants, give it that, and I will be healed. So I started going to naturopaths, and long story short, by the time I went for the scope, they were like, we don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep it up. And you're perfectly fine. All you need to do is keep eating fiber and exercising. And guess what? That was the day everything changed for me when I realized, okay, we have to be really careful what label we accept, okay? So diabetes, like any label really, if we choose to accept and receive that as our diagnoses, then we're going to help create it, okay? So I think first and foremost, we need to look at, are you accepting that this is your outcome? You have diabetes, and I have to take insulin, and I'm going to have ups and downs. Or are you going to recognize that your body is talking to you and you can do something about it? Because let's just reflect for a second. Do we remember when not everything was a disease, but they started all of a sudden saying, this is a disease and that's a disease, and everything started to become labeled and extreme, and now we needed meds for everything? And let's look at what they call a diabetic. It's a diet that means that when they consume carbs, it triggers the pancreas to produce sugar that affects the liver and other muscles. And in the definition, when I looked it up online, it's so funny how it says, even though there are studies that show that you can reverse it, it's still an ongoing disease, right? So when our medical system is set up to keep us ill because they profit billions of dollars this way, they're put a contrast like that in statements so that you'll think, okay, it's ongoing. I can never fix it. So what's the point in even trying, right? Like, this is just what it is, and you're accepting it. But if not, tell me you haven't heard of how many people that have had a disease and reversed it. Miracles have happened. Stage 4 cancer, reversed completely fine. Things, miracles, we call it, happen all of the time. But could that just simply be someone who chose not to accept the label and the diagnosis, but rather believed in the miracle that our bodies are, listened, found a way to give the body what it needs, and it heals itself? So the body always wants to do that. It wants to heal all the time. So let's learn what your vessel wants, okay? So the number one thing is diet. I don't care who you are, should never consume sugar. Our bodies were not ever designed to do that. That's man-made, and it creates illness, and again, feeds the billion-dollar industry. Anything processed, okay? We've got to know this stuff. They kind of are telling us along the way, like, McDonald's isn't good for you, but here's the new special. And we know that pop and chips and cookies and crackers and pizza and margarine, all of these things are not good for us, and we know that. But I think what happens is we want more of it. We crave it, and guess what? There's a scientific chemical agent and reaction that is happening because they have put this stuff into the foods to make that happen. So you can't just have one Oreo. You can't stop at a handful of Doritos because there's actual addictive agents, and they have chemicals in there that stop your body from feeling full. So you'll consume and consume and consume. All of these things are causing chemical reactions in your body. It's right under our nose. We know it, but we allow it because it tastes good. It tastes good, but we feel awful and then continue to do it again and expect different results. This is insanity, my friends. Like, we can change this, okay? We have to care enough, though. Get to a point where you care enough to make a change. So it can start, number one, no one ever wants to hear this, neither did I, putting 6 sugars in my tea, hammering pizza, loved pasta, lasagna, look out, everything carb, loved it. And it starts with cutting that out. Cut it out. No sugar. Not, well, the sucralose or the this is better. No sugar. If you're going to have sugar, maybe a teaspoon, a little bit of maple syrup, honey, if it's real, and sugar cane. Like, go natural, right? But just start with no sugar. Just get that out of your way, and you will see bread too. Please, bread. Bread turns into sugar. Come on, anything that's gluten, flour, grain, don't do that to your body. Okay, back in the day, it was made properly, and it rose, and it took time, and it was fresh, and it had to be eaten immediately. Big difference. Think about your loaf of bread and how long it sits on the counter now. Think about it. So, okay, there's that. Cut these things out. Just do a 1-day test. And I want you to, if you're diabetic, check your levels at the end of the day. Just try it. Because that's all you can do is start playing with your diet and see what works for you. It's not everybody's the same. And your body wants to eat like a hunter-gatherer, okay? It wants, if you've heard about paleo, keto, I'm not saying follow any of these strictly for anyone. Don't listen to your body. Go to a naturopath, figure out what your body wants, and listen to your body. Like, I don't believe that any one of these, and I've studied them all, are like perfect to follow to a T. Our body needs a certain amount. Like for me particularly, I have to have carbs or my body will eat its storage form. Like, so everybody is different, okay? So find your diet that works for you, and you do this by testing things, okay? So you want high protein, good fats, like olive oil, actual 100% like first cold pressed olive oil, coconut oil, high proteins, which is simply also in broccoli and stuff, right? Like, also remember that we're not hunter-gatherers anymore. We're not getting up in the morning and having to hunt and find our food. So paying attention to how much we eat, if we're like, do we need breakfast if all we're going to do is go sit at a desk? If you're gonna just sit on the couch and watch Netflix, do you really need the big meal? Because somewhere along the way, who even said this? So we have to have breakfast at this time and lunches at noon and suppers at 5 and we have meals. This was good and well when we were farmers, or we had to go out and like burn all that off. That's key. If you're eating something, you should be burning it. It's fuel for movement and action. If you're sitting, have a handful of nuts, call it a day. Fasting isn't a bad thing either. Many different forms of it. Careful playing with it. Do some studying to understand. But giving your body a break isn't a bad thing either, okay? So to balance yourself, for people who have diabetes or anything else, your body wants to be in balance. So start with figuring out how to commit to 3-day intervals of trying things. So for 3 days, don't have any sugar, don't have any bread. Track it. I want you to get a journal and track it. And I want you to write what it was that you ate, how much it was that you ate, put how you felt after, check your levels, track it. And then for 3 days, see how it goes. And then, so no sugar, and then have some sugar and bread on the 4th day. And then see, is there a difference? Bet you there is. You won't know until you start to play with it and document everything, because then you can reflect. This is the best part, right? You can actually see, hey, wait a minute, when I tried this, like, you're putting together your own plan here. And exercise, understand that movement matters. If we don't use it, we lose it. So get moving. Little walks, even around your place. Walk in circles, just move, do some yoga, do some jumping jacks. There's 7-minute little workouts online I love to do that has you doing jumping jacks and wall sit and plank and a push-up. It just keeps you moving, right? Find a way to do that, because that also, you want to reduce stress. Your stress can be helped by breathing, by doing yoga and recognizing, what are you thinking about all the time? Are you worrying all the time? Change up your thoughts. Start finding things to be more positive about. And hydration. Make sure that you're not drinking coffee all day, or have water with lemon in it. Is actually, this can prevent spikes in your levels because it'll keep you hydrated. Fiber, apple cider vinegar. I love apple cider vinegar. We should have that with a little teaspoon of that in water before every single meal. Really helps in the digestion and breakdown of everything, so your body can utilize it properly. I swear by it. And cucumbers, did you know, are high in fiber and also water. So Put that cucumber in your water. Have a plate of it always cut up in your fridge every time. You can just keep having some. Keep your levels more balanced. And those small fasts I talked about. Getting up in the morning doesn't mean you need to have breakfast right away. There's nothing wrong with allowing your body to have a break from having to digest and process everything into energy. And what a wonderful thing to give it a break. And here's something we forget that, or don't even know. You get those cramps in your stomach, you're really hungry, you feel like you're starving. It's actually the activation of the next level of digestion where your body is about to break down and get rid of the toxins and bad fats and weight and everything that you don't need anymore. But we call that starvation, and right when our body is about to do its best work and give us what we want, which is detox, cleanse, get rid of the extra, and lose it, all the stuff that we don't need, we think it's hunger and feed it. Process has to start all over again, and we wonder why we're gaining weight and we're getting worse. Listening to our body. But nobody teaches us this stuff, so how do we know? Right? Be kind to yourself. But portions too are important. Like, I've seen people take bowls, huge bowls, and that's their cereal bowl or that's their spaghetti bowl. Completely unnecessary unless I guess you're going to run a triathlon, okay? But really, portions and understanding that you're giving your body fuel. How much do you need for the action and motion you're going to take? Ultimately, we are choosing health and happiness for the long term or just immediate gratification. Because what we're consuming and neglecting is all because our body just wants that chemical surge, that serotonin, dopamine. You could look at some of the underlying roots of maybe why you feel so addicted to foods and sugars and whatever it is that you consume that you know are not helping with that balance. And really choose to take our body seriously, okay? You know that it's talking to you. We just have to not ignore the signs. Listen, make small changes, and just try different things until you can reflect and look at the tracking and you know, oh my gosh, I just had an amazing week. I was stable, I was good. And then just keep doing that and try different things, and it'll keep leveling up and layering up, and you'll get to a place where you'll feel really good and balanced. It really is possible. And when you get to that more balanced, clear place, your body talks to you even more clearly. It's so amazing because you will actually crave whatever mineral, nutrient, vitamin you need. You'll want salad. You will crave the cucumber. Your body will start to tell you exactly what it needs. And then you just give it a little bit of that and you're fueled up, you're balanced, you feel good. That's all you need. So I really hope that this helps and that everybody finds a way to maintain your own balance by playing with your diet, playing with your mindset, knowing that it's a choice to choose to heal or a choice to just enjoy the instant gratification. It really is up to you. I wish you blessings and abundance on this journey we call life. Much love.